It's time for the BAQA. The BAQA with Tiffany. The BAQA with Manday, but she ain't here today. The BAQA with Victory. The BAQA. We have a guest in the stew. Her name is Victory Banwo or Banwo.
Banwo.
Banwo. And so Victory is, I don't even know. I mean, we're going to see if she's a dream catcher, is she a mentee? What's Victory? But she is going to ask 2 questions of me today. And if you would like to be in the stew at any moment in time or just have a question answered, you can go to brownambitionpodcast.com, click contact us. You can go and slide in our DMs at Brown Ambition Podcast on IG, the BA Podcast on Twitter, brownambitionpodcast@gmail.com. All those ways. You could be like Victory in the stew. Welcome, Victory. How are you?
Hi, Tiffany. I'm good. I'm actually a mentee. So that's where I'm from. I'm from the Patreon community, and it's been such an awesome, I think it's already almost a year since, you started mentoring us. So it's been awesome.
Yay! So she's part of mymentortiffany.com. That's awesome. So most of y'all know me as the budgetista, obviously personal finance, but I've been in business for over 50 years. I mean, 50. Yeah, right, girl. I've been in business for 15 years and I've made about $50 million, about give or take in business. I mean, I've got a New York Times bestseller, award-winning podcast. Just like there's so many things in business that I've done, online school. I've had a marketing company. Just so many things that I've done in business, and I get the request of mentorship all the time. And I already have like 10 to 15 like in-person mentees that I talk to on the phone or see in person. But the request just kept pouring in. So I said, well, let me see what it would look like to maybe mentor people digitally. And so I started mymentortiffany.com, and Victory joined. And so now she's here. So Victory, now you get to ask me a question up close and in person. And so up close and personal. If you want to be a mentee, it's just mymentortiffany.com. And you can join us on over there. It's $20 a month. I mean, at least while I'm recording this, who knows what it'll be by the time you listen to it. But all right, Victory, what's your first question?
Yes. So my question really, Tiffany, is how do I structure my budget? You talk about personal finance a lot, and a lot of the things that you suggested are very helpful. And even from the book, Structured My Budget. But my question now is, for somebody who's starting a business, how do I make my dollars stretch to where I'm able to cover my bills, meet my personal financial goals, but then also fund a business? I don't necessarily want to get a VC or an investor. I want to fund the business myself, but I'm trying to figure out how to structure my budget in such a way that I make my money stretch, if that makes sense. Or even...
No, it makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Or even what?
Or is it reaching for too much to say, hey, I want to reach my personal financial goals and also invest in a business? Do I have to pick one? Or, what do you suggest?
Well, Victory, I'll say that one, I want you to be a really good business owner, founder. You have to learn to be super flexible. So one, it might look like in the beginning, you're not 100% entrepreneur. Like I wasn't. In the beginning, I started the Budgetista, which was making me $0.000. But I was babysitting. I was tutoring. I was doing all this other stuff. I had unemployment because at the time I had lost my job. And that's really how I was paying bills. The business did not pay me anything for the first few years. So don't be afraid to have other things fund, like whether you have like a job, like a regular job, and it's funding your business. There's nothing wrong with that. Like very few businesses make money straight out the gate enough to support you. So it's okay not to be 100% entrepreneur. You might even have a business before the business. So I know a woman, her name is Arsha. Arsha has this company called Capital City Mambo Sauce. It's like a mix between like barbecue sauce and like ketchup. I don't know. It's very popular in the DMV, which is DC, Virginia, Maryland area, mambo sauce in general. So Arsha knew she wanted to do this sauce, but a physical product is very expensive to produce. And so what she did was, years before she was able to launch that, she started a t-shirt business, which is very print on demand, because a lot of these companies print full. Someone can order it and they won't print it until it's ordered. So they don't have any waste, Right. And so she started a t-shirt business called Tees in the Trap. And so that business required next to no overhead. She just had to figure out whatever her designs were. And people would buy the t-shirt, the place would print it and mail it for her, and she would get money. And so she stacked up on that money and that easier business. So then she was able to fund the business that really needed money. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the Budgetnista has done that too. So the Budgetnista was the business of Tiffany, right? So that's like speaking engagements. That doesn't really cost me anything. That's like, I've done like spokesperson work that doesn't cost me anything. So when I launched the Literature Academy, it cost me a lot of money because I had to get the platform, I had to pay the instructors, but I could not have launched the Academy from the gate. I did the Budgetnista for the first 5 or 6 years, and then the Budgetnista had enough money to lend this new company money. It was like maybe $30,000 that the Budgetnista had squirreled away, gave it to the Academy to get started, and then the Academy over the year or two paid it back to Budgetnista.
I see.
So you can self-fund through like a business before the business. You can self-fund through just working, Uber, like all these other things. So you want to get really creative and flexible about how you fund the business if you don't want to take, because I don't have any outside investments. I don't have any loans, any debt. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do those things. I'm just saying, since what you're saying, Victory, it sounds like you don't want to do those things. So that's how it's a slower path to do, that way. But to me, it allows us to sustain because I don't owe anybody any money. I don't have any debt and I own all of my businesses 100%.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense because I've also done different like side hustles, if you will, just to, have some extra income. But it sounds like what you're saying is if I'm being more intentional about saying, hey, I'm going to do this side hustle to particularly gather that capital for the business versus having to maybe go for outside funding or take out a loan or do something like that.
Exactly. And I'm not saying you shouldn't take out a loan. I'm saying that, you want to be mindful that like, if I take out this loan, there are terms. So the terms are, you have to pay it back within a certain amount of time. Do I think the business will be up and running? For me, I call it the Bank of Budgetnista. So I'm like, because she's a lot more lenient in case I don't have the money to pay back just yet. She's like, all right, girl, you got one more year, you know? And so I built a business where the overhead was low. The cost to start it was low. So I can make money, so I can do other things. So if I ever wanted to launch another business, I probably would do it again. I would just go to the Budgetnista and say, hey, girl, can you lend me money to start this other thing? And I'll pay you back.
That is smart. You have me thinking now. I'm thinking about ideas or what I can do to the business before the business. Brainstorming.
Brown Ambition with Victory in the Stew. She is here to ask us whatever question. I have not pre-heard these questions. I like to have my questions on the fly. So I'm curious as to Victory's question. Go ahead, Victory. The floor is yours. What's your second question?
So my second question is about traveling, really. I know you've talked some about, some of the travels that you've done, and because my business involves going to Nigeria and I have to do a lot of traveling. So what are some, I guess, advice or tips that you have about how to make the best of traveling, since I do have to travel internationally a lot and, those aren't like cheap flights or, tickets and hotels and things.
No, this is great. So this is more like a Budgetnista question. So yes, I do travel a lot. So one of the things, Victory, like for travel, there's a new tip I just learned, so I'm going to put a pin in that one. But one is I try my best, when it makes sense, to be loyal to a specific airline because I can earn points in order to earn points for free travel, And then I also try my best when I buy my tickets, to specifically get a credit card specifically geared toward earning points for travel. So Chase makes a good Chase Venture card. Capital One has a good one. Amex is pretty good for travel, so to earn points. So like right now, like for example, I've earned enough points. I have an Amex Platinum card and I have that for my business, and so we put all of our business expenses on it. And as a result, I have enough points for like a ton of travel. And so you want to maximize that, if you're going to use a credit card, use it for it to earn you travel points. Also too, I know you're traveling internationally, but in general, like right now, I'm in a hotel and I try to stay within the Bonvoy family. That's like Marriott's and things, because you earn points there too. So I can earn free nights. I can earn free upgrades. So one of the best ways to navigate with travel is to, to try your best to stick to loyalty when it makes sense. If the difference is like hundreds and hundreds of dollars in tickets or whatever, it might not. But I try to be loyal so that way I can get additional points toward additional free travel. Something else that I've heard is, I don't know if you've ever heard of have you heard of a VPN?
VPN? No.
So VPNs are these ways to log in. So I use it for the first time when I went to Bali a year or so back. It allows me to look like I'm not in Bali online. There's a whole bunch of VPNs. They're not too terribly expensive. It allows you to log in from whatever country you want when you're on your computer. And so I was having a hard time logging into my social media in Bali because Facebook, Instagram, they all thought that I was trying to hack into my own account. So I had to get a VPN, which basically is, I can't remember what it stands for, but it allows me to say, even though I'm in Bali, my computer looks like it's still in the United States. And with VPNs, what people use them oftentimes to if like, for example, the Netflix that you see in Nigeria is not the Netflix that you'll see in the US. So if you're logged in under your VPN, you can watch whatever people in Nigeria are watching via Netflix. But what's really great about it is that there are certain times when you can buy flights. You can say, if I bought my flight looking like I was in Nigeria on the United website, you actually might save money. So you can get this VPN and say, if I bought my flight as if I was in France buying my flight from the US to Nigeria. So I just saw that hack the other day. I was like, wow, my sister, who is actually in Nigeria right now, my sister Lisa and my sister Tracy, they're in Nigeria right now. Lisa said she used that to save $300 on her flight. She used it to look like, I'm going to buy my flight, but I'm not going to look like I'm buying my flight in America. Even though I'm sitting in Jersey City in New Jersey, I'm going to have my VPN say I'm in Nigeria because for whatever reason, the algorithm is making the flight less money, by buying it like as if I'm located in a different country. So that's another way to save as well.
Interesting. I'm definitely going to have to try that one.
Yes. And then also too, truthfully, there are some really great travel, especially if you're traveling a lot. Like I like to follow travel hackers on social media because sometimes they'll come up with a thing. You're like, well, I didn't know that. Something new will have come out, like whenever I'm looking for flights, I always put on my incognito window, like in Google, because I don't want them to track me. Because every time I go to look for a flight, all of a sudden the price goes up because they know I'm looking and I'm interested. And so, but all of these like kind of like travel hackers, they'll let you know like probably what's the best credit card to use. That, like I said, that VPN hack was one that was really good. There's all of these like travel hacks. So if you're traveling a lot, I would be following some of these people on like, I know like the points guy, Onika, the traveler. She's a Black woman who does it. I love to follow them because it really helps me figure out like, oh, okay, I didn't even know that hack. I'm going to try that, so. Those are some hacks for you.
Yeah, those are definitely very helpful. I'm going to try the VPN one and see if it makes a difference.
Yeah, let me know. Like I said, my sister Lisa's in Nigeria right now. She was like, it worked. I saved $300. I was like, ooh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Victory. I hope this was helpful. Are you enjoying your mentee experience?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I am. And I was one of the lucky ones. I got in at the $10 a month and I'm never leaving. You're stuck with me now.
So I told people, I'm like, they thought I was playing. Now it's 20, which is still a really amazing deal, obviously. But one day it might be 30 or 40 or 50. I mean, I have friends who have mentorship programs and it's $10,000 for the year. 20,000, 60,000 for the year. And people pay, and I'm not looking to do all that, but certainly, I'm like, I really enjoy teaching, and I don't just enjoy teaching about money. I really like to teach about business too. So it's like another part of myself that I get to express. You never share. Where do you live, Victory?
I used to live in Dallas, Texas, but I recently just moved to Atlanta for a new job.
Okay, so hopefully I'll be in Atlanta this year sometime. We'll do a mentee meetup. We'll all have dinner because that'll be lots of fun. But yeah, I really love pouring into you guys. I love hearing like all of the success stories. And like, I just feel like the thing about business is that you start off at like level 1, and then over time you that's why I said that flexibility is so important, that your business will tell you what it needs to grow and to flourish. And it's up to you to be flexible, to twist and turn and add and subtract based upon the feedback you're getting from the people you're serving, but also your business too. And over time, if you do that consistently and you stay consistent and flexible, then, success is something that is definitely on the horizon. So I hope and wish and know success for you, Victory, because you're already asking these questions. You're taking steps forward. So, I can't wait to hear more about how your business flourishes forward.
Yes, absolutely, Tiffany. Thank you so much. I love being a mentee, and like I said, I'm never leaving. So it is what it is.
Well, if you want to be a mentee and you're listening, you're like, oh, I'm missing out. I'm part of the BA family, but I'm not part of the mentee family. Go head on over to mymentortiffany.com. For $20 a month, you get to jam out with 3,800 other mentees. It's largely women, but we do have a handful of guys. We don't turn anyone away. It's awesome sauce over there. And if you want to be on the podcast, you can go to brownambitionpodcast.com and click contact us if you want me to answer a question in the stew or just like read your question out loud. brownambitionpodcast@gmail.com and Brown Ambition Podcast on IG, slide in the DMs, or the BA Podcast on Twitter. Okay? Until next time, thank you, Victory, for coming to the stew with us today. And I will see you, Brown Ambition family, another day, another dollar. Bye, Victory. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Hey, BA fam. We're on YouTube. Woohoo! Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
And while you're at it, why don't you go over to that little bell icon and just tap that for us. Show the BA fam how much you love us. And that way you'll also get notifications when new videos drop. Also, share the channel with a friend. We're always like, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And thank y'all so much again for all the support.